Rozza, how's it going?
All right. I'll say all right.
All right.
There's a whole bunch of truth hidden underneath that.
Well, mate, listen, it's good of you to find the time to do this. And we must say hello to all of our new subscribers on YouTube because we're in triple figures now.
Fantastic.
Which is great. Thanks to various kind people who've allowed me to basically whore this podcast around on various media platforms. And they go, you do a sausage podcast. And then I use about 60 seconds of that time to go, yes, you can find it here. And it's on Apple and it's on Spotify and it's on YouTube. And it's particularly on YouTube, subscribe to it. So we got hello to all these people and it's great. And if you want to follow, subscribe, share, give us a nice review, that'll be lovely because this is the world's only regular podcast all about sausages. I'm Duncan, this is Rozza, who alongside me, we sample the delights of the great sausage world, mostly the great British banger, but occasionally we go off-piste a little bit. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm really excited about this because we're recording this in October 2025, and this is my favourite time of year for sausage consumption. And I'll let you have a little glimpse behind the scenes here on Prick with a Fork, because what I do with Roz is we have a little WhatsApp exchange, and there is something we were going to try and do this time round, but we couldn't find them, or I couldn't find them, and we like to sample the same sausage at the same time, which I know sounds a little bit dubious. So the stuff that we were going to do this time round, we'll put on the back burner as we head towards Christmas. There's a clue. But this time of year for me is all about, I just love these sausages. And we could have gone for anyone, any particular brand, but I am leaning increasingly towards M&S, Marks and Spencer's, not because I'm posh, but I do think in terms of value for money, they are really, really good and their products are good. And their sausage range is just first class. They're doing so many different things. So I'm now going to, if you can imagine it, metaphorically pull the sheet off and reveal what we're sampling this time round. And it begins with C. And I'm talking about the Cumberland. And I happen to believe the Cumberland quite possibly is, if not one of the world's greatest sausages, the greatest sausage known to human beings. And I'll tell you why I think that in a few moments' time. But this is what we got, Rozza. You've got yours there. This is the so our viewers and listeners. Well, listen, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, is another reason for you to get onto YouTube and subscribe. So that is 6 Cumberland pork sausages, the M&S food collection, British outdoor bread. What are you laughing at?
I think I've cooked the wrong ones.
Have you? What the hell have you cooked?
Yeah. I've cooked, because they were £4 for 6, or it was 2 for £6.50.
Yeah.
And then the other ones I grabbed were these ones, which was the ye old English Farmhouse.
Have you cooked those?
I think so. Sorry.
Well, how many are in the pack?
6. I cooked 3.
Oh, right. Okay.
So in my haste, I've grabbed the wrong.
That's all right. We can make this work. This can be a double dose of M&S.
See? There we go.
Let's do that.
Rescued in a heartbeat.
I just want to talk about the Cumberland first of all. I happen to think the Cumberland sausage is probably the best sausage known to man, or indeed women. And I'll tell you why. Because at this time of the year, autumnal, it's got a lovely taste. So the main taste, when you talk about a Cumberland, is mace and nutmeg. Now, nutmeg is basically a little round ball that you ground down into a spice, right? The mace is like the bit that goes round it, like a sheath, for example. Like its outer skin. That does sound pervy, doesn't it? That was intentional.
Prophylactic for the ladies, sir.
It's one for the ladies. So what I love about it, the Cumberland at this time of year, has got that lovely warm flavouring, that sensation. And then we'll get on to your bangers cooked by mistake in a few moments' time. But that's all right, because we can give our viewers and listeners a very real choice when they go to M&S next to decide which ones. So let me just run through these. Outdoor bred, RSPCA assured from select farms we know and trust. That's something that M&S make a big thing of now with these sausages. And they're quite chunky in terms of their coarseness. 85% pork, which is not too bad. British outdoor bred pork. Obviously, as we always say, with a supermarket sausage, you can have your preservatives in there and your chemicals, because it needs to be on the shelf for quite a bit of time. But they actually list the spices in there: black pepper, white pepper, nutmeg, and mace. Obviously, you've got salt in there, dried sage, dried parsley, and Rozza, filled into natural pork casings, which is what we want.
Boom, boom, shake the room.
Boom, boom, shake the room. We don't want any of that other stuff. So I've cooked 2 of these, and there's a dog lurking around. Obviously, I have a sausage dog. If you're a regular viewer or listener, you will know I have a sausage dog called Bertie. Why wouldn't you have a sausage dog? And he may well make an appearance because he does love sausages. You've got, is that cider or beer? What have you got there?
This is a cider today. Not for the company that I work for, because that would be I've started working for. That would be a conflict of interest.
Well, maybe you're only human.
But I could maybe drink one for Christmas. Yeah. This one is the Henry Weston's Organic. Comes in at 6% ABV.
Ooh, that's chunky.
Well, you see, if you're a cider drinker listening to this, you'll know that actually 6% isn't necessarily.
No, it's not, is it? No.
To be shirked at, because they can, particularly with the Weston's ones, they can get a lot stronger. So, this is their medium dry organic, and it's very nice. And also, what I love about it as well, because we love the whole sort of British farming thing on this podcast, is that it does actually come with the organic certificate.
Nice.
So, if you're to produce an organic product in the UK. Then you need to have this little symbol just there. Okay. So that's
good, man. You know. So you got some cider. Do you want to know what I'm drinking?
Go on. Guinness. Water. Yeah. That's because it's a
two
Monday.
Reasons. One, it was water. It's Monday.
The thing is, I've just worked straight for the last 10 days. So today is my sort of weekend, as it were. And is tomorrow, and then back to work in London on Wednesday, and then various other things on Thursday, and then
this is your weekend. That's good.
Yeah, this is my weekend. So
this is. I'm not detoxing, by the way. Once we've done this, I'm taking the dog to the pub. So just so we're clear. Right. Anyway, so let's crack on with these. So the one thing I wanted to say about Cumberland is that or 2 things. So the Cumberland sausage originates from the northwest of England, right? And you can still, if you go to traditional butchers in certain parts of rural northwest England, you can still buy Cumberland sausage by the length, because normally Cumberland sausages are sold in the round, or like a whirl.
That's right, yeah.
There are still some traditional old-fashioned butchers in northwest England where you go in, right, and they basically just go, how much do you want? And the whirl is behind them, and they just pull it all out. You might just go 12 inches, I don't know, 12 inches. Twirl it for you, stick it in a bag. So that's one thing to remember about Cumberland sausage. Just imagine that. You can rock up some old school butchers in the northwest of England and they just cut you off a length. I'd be going, let's have 12 foot. So there's that. The other thing, there are farmers in the northwest of England who believe that the Cumberland sausage, a traditional Cumberland sausage, no longer exists. Do you want to know why? Because there used to be a breed of pig called the Cumberland pig that no longer exists. No longer exists. No, it doesn't exist anymore. No one's breeding the Cumberland pig. So there are some very old school farmers who just go, but if it was a proper Cumberland, it would be the pork from a Cumberland pig. They don't exist anymore. They faded out many years ago. So consequently, what you're saying is a Cumberland ain't a Cumberland. I find that really fascinating. I'm going to say and one more thing. I'm going to be biased about this, all right? Because the Cumberland is my favourite sausage, right? There's no two ways about it. It's my favourite sausage. It's perfect with bangers and mash. This is my special sausage sampling fork. A few people commented on this last time. It's a thing of great beauty there.
It is.
And I've got a couple of these roasted here. I've also got some ketchup that I'm going to try. So I've become a bit of a fan of this, Rozza. Have you seen Stokes?
Yes, I have. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful
What
stuff.
I like about this is, and I'll mention this before elsewhere, They're made with, this is made with Mediterranean tomatoes, so therefore they're slightly sweeter, which is nice. I prefer this to Heinz.
Yes, the 50% less sugar and salt one is actually very nice as well. The Stokes one, I think that comes in a squeezy, whereas that one that you've got, the kind of pure hardcore, is in the glass jar. But that is absolutely exceptional. There's one particular cafe near to where I live where they insist on serving that with the full English. And
it's brilliant. It's slightly sweeter, but it is a British company. They're based in Suffolk. So, and they win loads of awards. So there you are. If you're watching on YouTube, and you're not yet watching on YouTube because you're not subscribed, subscribe. But there you are. That's Stokes. That's what you're looking for. Most supermarkets sell it. So there you are. So I'm just going to try one of these M&S Cumberlands naked. Well, not taking my kit off, but naked without the ketchup.
Now, I'm sorry that I can't try this with you. I'll have to do these ye olde ones afterwards with my condiment. I'm going to Norfolk for mine. No Tracklemans. I can't find it, Duncan. So I'm going to have to keep going for the Tracklemans.
Tracklemans is all right. Tracklemans is a good backup.
Yeah.
So just a taste of this. It just exudes those slightly colder nights and walking to the pub in the drizzle. That's what this tastes like. This is bloody lovely. I love it. Great.
Now, the last Cumberland that we tried, I surprised myself, didn't I? Because I thought I certainly thought in my head that I don't normally go for Cumberlands, which is why I was so intrigued to cook this one, and then ended up cooking the wrong ones because I did the two for $6.50.
Look at that.
Looks wonderful.
Oh,
and
God,
the pepper, I mean, that's a massive ingredient for Cumberlands, isn't it? Black pepper.
It is. So you have that. So I mentioned earlier the mace and the nutmeg, but you're right, black pepper and white pepper as well. It's a peppery sausage, but that's why it works so well with mash and gravy on a cold autumnal night. Right, I'm going to crack on with these. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to rate them, but it's going to be definitely nudging. It's going to be in the orbit of a 9. What have you got there of your oldie English ones? Because I'm interested in what the ingredients say.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same branding because, like most supermarkets, M&S, one thing they do is obviously different ranges. You get their sort of butcher's ones, and then you get the special Italian ones that we had last time. So this is part of what's known as the M&S collection. So Duncan is eating the Cumberland ones of this particular M&S collection, and these are the British outdoor bread, same as Duncan's in terms of outdoor bread, but these are the 6 Olde English Farmhouse pork sausages. Do you say that as oldie, or do you say it just as old?
I'd say oldie.
Oldie.
Otherwise, the E's just redundant, isn't it? Why stick it on there?
But why? Yeah, exactly. So this is only from select farms we know and trust. Both
we know
M&S.
and trust.
Yeah. M&S pork is outdoor bred and raised to higher welfare standards, and it's always British, which is what we like on this podcast. So, in terms of ingredients, British outdoor pork. Now, we've got a pork rating of what, Duncan? So give it a guess. Go on.
Well, my ones here are 85%. They're probably the same, aren't they?
90 we've got here.
90? Oh.
Yeah, 90%. So obviously the usual water. We've got the rice flour, chickpea flour, dextrose. There's obviously, a bit of sugary stuff chucked in there. Salt, parsley, lemon zest, interestingly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that works well.
Wasn't there lemon zest in those dinky ones that we tried as well from M&S, the cocktail sausages?
Well remembered, yeah.
Yeah, dried herbs, similar to yours. Ground spices. So this one, again, equals Duncan's. This has got a nutmeg and mace, coriander and cayenne, and black pepper. It's also got thyme, sage, parsley, oregano, and marjoram. So these are almost bordering on a Cumberland recipe by the looks of things.
Yeah, but the marjoram's a really interesting addition. I put marjoram in my chili when I make chili.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm talking my mouth full. Because it gives a really earthy flavour.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
And I've actually made some sausages in the past with marjoram. It's nice to see that in there. Something else you mentioned, which is not in the Cumberland, obviously. Oh, the dried oregano. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Oregano, as the Americans would say. And if you are in America, then you'll be saying it's herbs, not herbs, and it's oregano. But we also, have the nutmeg, mace like yours, coriander, cayenne, black pepper, just to repeat those, onions, dextrose, preservatives, as Duncan always points out. It's a supermarket sausage. You're going to get your preservatives in there.
Yeah.
We've got rapeseed oil in this one. I'm a big fan of
Interesting.
rapeseed oil. And the sausages are filled into natural pork casings, Mr. Barks. Yes, they are
Quite right.
indeed. Hurrah. Boom, boom, shake, shake the room. So let's have a go, shall we?
Yep.
So in terms of coarseness, these are looking at actually a halfway house, actually. These are looking...
It is, yeah.
Between smooth and coarse. Yep. I'll go without the Norfolk condiment to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Pardon me. Better out than in. Do you know, I know that's really rude, but
It's such schoolboy stuff on this.
The nice thing about it is you do get that little bit of blowback of Cumberland flavour.
Blowback, you really are behind the bike sheds today, aren't you? Oh,
some might say I never left. So what are you thinking there? What are you tasting there?
I'm do you know what? And this sounds stupid. This is the first supermarket sausage that I've had in an awful long time where pork is screaming out of this sausage. This is not being overtaken by all the additional ingredients. Obviously, it is 90% pork. So, as Duncan always says, it does the math. So it means 10% of it is other stuff, as you often say.
But that's really good, though, because as we know, far more scrupulous operations just use the bare legal requirement of 42% pork, which means 58% of it is, well, even in the best possible way. Once you've removed the spices and the herbs, you've got a lot of filler in there. So that's interesting. 90% is a good old number, as is 85% with these. I have no problem with that. But it's interesting that your palate is really picking up on the porkiness.
It is, yes. And, they're incredibly well filled. We've got no air around the edge of the casing here.
Nice.
And as I said, it's definitely a halfway house between coarse and smooth.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that you can tell that these are in pork castings. You get that sort of slightly fatty feeling, if you like that sort of stuff, on sort of entry, if you like. And one thing I will say, there's not a lot of chewing to be done with these. These sausages slip down, and the pork is really prominent. In terms of the other ingredients and the other herbs, just looking at those, I think almost in some ways there's probably too little of everything in here for any of them to jump out. Now, we know that mace and nutmeg are strong. We've mentioned those before. But I think that the 10% of the other stuff, I just don't think there's enough in there for anything to come through and overpower.
No, what's interesting then?
The lemon zest.
What? I mean, aside then from the porkiness, is that it? Is there not? Can you not taste anything else coming through? Does it just taste like some nice pork?
Yeah, it does actually.
That's quite bizarre, given that significant number of herbs and spices in there.
Yeah, I would say, to be fair, just giving it a bit of aftertaste and a bit of thinking and letting it just settle on the back of the tongue there. You can actually, that lemon zest is there, actually, to be fair. It is there. And I would say that the most prominent is probably the sage, I would say. I'm just I'm just detecting that. Bit of thyme in there as well. Not feeling any of the cayenne. Not feeling really any of the black pepper at all. The coriander, not really. Oregano, no. Marjoram, no. So yeah, it's maybe a bit of parsley because that is an ingredient. Otherwise, it's the sage, I think, which is the strongest. But a real decent effort, actually.
Good.
No complaints with these.
So usual question then: what would you have them as or with?
Yeah, now that's my knife on the floor. Right, I'm not bending down to pick that up.
Wow. This
is in a bap.
Oh, bap.
Yeah. I mean, and it's edging towards a breakfast sausage, I think, and I think exclusively breakfast, actually, this one.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily. I think I prefer it in a bap or a baguette than I would do with a full English on a plate.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That works with the farmhouse vibe, doesn't it, as well? Just a nice
rustic
sausage sandwich, rustic sausage bap.
Just rip and go. Just
rip and go. Yeah.
in any go. I mean, it would work with a full English, definitely. It would also work on a barbecue. I know obviously some people have hung up their barbecue tongs for the winter, but I'll certainly be keeping mine open through the winter. But it's a very, very nice sausage. It's a decent effort. And these are a bit maybe perhaps on the chilly side just because they've come out of the oven like 15, 20 minutes ago. But certainly dipped into the mustard, you're getting a real good sausage experience here. And in terms of the sausage by itself, Duncan, then once again, M&S have managed to come home on this one. They really have.
Right. So out of 10, I'm going to give these. I never give a 10. Right. I never give a 10. It's my life's work to find a sausage that is worthy of a 10. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm going to happily give these Cumberland from M&S from their food collection. Just a reminder. Where's it gone? Hang on. There it is. Right. Just a reminder. That's what you're looking for. Your local M&S food store. That one there. Definitely a 9.
Ooh.
A 9.2.
Oh! Oh!
I just love them. I love them to bits.
Wow.
But you see, I wouldn't have the same love for them if it was like 32 Celsius outside, right? I'd be wanting a different banger because it's not just about the taste. It's about the situation, the environment you're in, how you're feeling. But right now, you're in the Midlands. I'm on the, I call it the Sussex Riviera, West Sussex, place called Chichester. It's been raining all day. The temperature has noticeably dropped. And I want Cumberland sausages with mash and gravy and possibly some peas. And on that basis, these would be the ones I would have a 9.2 out of 10.
Wow, Duncan, that's your highest score ever on Prick with a Fork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that really is. So
history.
History made.
It's an historic scoring. Yeah. Let me see if I can find the dog. Bertie, come here. Come here.
Where's my
Come
knife?
You're gonna have another bite. Come here. Come here. You gonna have a bit more?
I'm tucking
Excuse
in
me for a second. Come here.
No problem. So
I'm not normally this shy and retiring. See, it's typical. Never worked with animals. You're gonna come up here? Come say hello. Come on. What's this?
come on, Bertie. Come on. Up you come.
Hey.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey. Hello, little man.
Yay.
You okay? Looking forward to going to the pub? Is it your round? You're all round. You're going to put your paws in your pocket.
What's this up here?
Spend his pocket money.
Yeah. I'll see if I can make his favourite trick. Ready? Yeah. Right, call his name.
Bertie. Bertie. Hey,
I can't speak.
Bertie.
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 Should we go to the pub? Pub? Time for the pub? Up he goes. So there you are. We'll go in a second. So there you are, Prick with a Fork viewers and listeners. Again, if you are listening, you need to subscribe to YouTube so you can see the cute puppy. Well, he's not a puppy. He just looks like one.
Oh,
Right. So what are you giving out of 10? What did we decide?
8. Bang in on 8. Yeah, I'll tell you for why. It's that they're a good sausage. That fattiness from the skin is bordering on slightly slimy. Which as in, it's not necessarily putting me off. As a breakfast sausage, it would work. In a BAP, it would definitely work. I think this also, even though it's an 8, I think it needs a condiment with it just to enhance it. And also, I think in answer to your argument behind bangers and mash, this sausage doesn't have a strong enough flavour to hold its own.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
In a bangers and mash,
picked up on the fact that despite all of the herbs and spices in there, there's nothing that's really coming through with the pork. So you think, rightly by the sounds of it, you need something else with it, either some mustard or a bit of ketchup just to zhuzh it up a little bit. Yeah.
Brown sauce, something like that. For me, in a bangers and mash, you need a sausage that's going to own the dish. Because the sausage needs to be the centerpiece. The mash needs to be good. You want that nice and creamy and milky and buttery and all the rest of it. You want the veg to be al dente, so it's there and it's lovely, and the carrots or the green beans, whatever you're going to have with it. But you don't want to hand over or hand back your plate of bangers and mash and go, the best thing about that was the mash. You always want the sausage to outgun it, I think. That's how I feel. And
Sound
this sausage...
assessment?
Sorry?
Sound assessment.
A sound assessment. Yeah, sorry. I thought, we've got sound issues. This, I think, wouldn't hold its own against decent mash. I think you would end up handing it back going, the mash was amazing. The sausages were good, but the mash was amazing.
Beautiful.
I know I'm giving it 8 out of 10, but it's because it's a decent supermarket effort.
Yeah.
And finding decent supermarket sausages, as we've discovered on this podcast, is actually quite tricky.
It is. On that note, well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Rozza, you've been a star as always. Back again soon on the YouTube channel and also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Please do us a favor. If you like this kind of stuff and you've got a mate who likes it, spread the word. Please share, subscribe, rate and review. And that way the various algorithms kick in and recommend this sausage podcast to people who like food right around the world and that kind of stuff. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Bye.